possibly one of the coolest ways to travel up a river.
What are some of the things we're gonna see, Reef?
Yeah, keep it.
We hunt to shoot with our camera.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's get this tour on the go.
I'm Ben, that's Ashley. Together, we did the unimaginable. We sold everything and then set off on a mission to sail around the world.
Civilization. See you later.
28 countries later and over 25,000 nautical miles, we are only halfway around the world.
I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Subscribe to follow the adventure as we finish this lap. After sailing to Borneo, we had moved our mothership, Nahoa, as far up the river as it would go. Then, we hopped onto what's locally known as a Klotok, a traditional riverboat. And since it would take several days to go up this river, ours essentially had a house on it.
Possibly one of the coolest ways to travel up a river. I mean, you have full luxury, you're on the river, you have your amenities, and you just move with your home. Arif is our guide here on this river cruise up the Kumai River. Is it called the Kumai River?
No, Sekonya River. It's the heart of Tanjung Puting National Park.
Okay. And we're gonna go up for 3 days?
Yeah.
Did you study monkeys, is that right?
Oh, I'm a biologist, but to be a tour guide, I think still my best ever job.
It's a pretty good job,
like just having fun, right? Just like spotting animals, taking picture, meeting with the people, with the different people, different background, different story, different. Oh my God, this is.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good tour, is what you're telling us.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are some of the things we're gonna see, Reef?
Oh, the lesser ape, which is only found in Southeast Asia. Keep it. It's a gibbon. They are agile. They are like dancing from the tree to tree. It's like crazy.
All right, let's get this tour on the go.
Yeah.
We are officially 1 hour into this river cruise, and we are officially on meal number 2. Second meal in 1 hour.
No, it's been...
Oh, has it been 2 hours, Ashley?
It's been 2.5.
2.5 according to Ashley. And right now we got, let's see here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 dishes.
Rice, and this one is a soya bean, fried soya bean, and this one is a chicken barbecue. This is a rice noodle, and this one is a mixed vegetable.
I saw something move.
We just came to a stop here. We may have spotted something. Not quite sure what it is.
45 degrees, and then there is a monkey there behind the leaf of the nipa palm. You see that, the orange one? This is that orangutan sound. Look at that, there's kiss squeak. This is like the sign. It's usually for the wild orangutans. They make it like that because they're not used to meet with the people, not used to meet with the boat, so they feel uncomfortable, they feel afraid, so they make it kiss squeak. Then the rehabilitated orangutan, they have experience with the people, so usually they're not using like that, not making kiss squeak. When they feel like uncomfortable, when they feel afraid, when they feel every single feeling, because of orangutan is kind of silent ape. That's the only sound they can make it.
Really? That's the only sound they can make?
Yeah.
Wow.
And a male with a long call. Ooh. They have a throat pouch, they make it long call. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Huh.
Ooh.
Some parts of this river are really narrow, and yeah, we have to like squeeze by these other boats. I think we'll make it up.
Watch out, you might meet my husband on the trail.
We're in the forest right now, and there's possibly some orangutans up there. It turns out that orangutans are actually quite a bit slower than humans because they have to balance. Their arms are actually longer than their legs. So when they're walking, they have to like walk like this, which makes it really hard to catch us humans. Or they have to knuckle. But we have to stay 5 meters away from them if we see them, because we can still escape at that distance. But any closer and they can catch us. And they're huge and they're dangerous. So hopefully we'll see some here. I think we're getting closer. We found some evidence of orangutans digging this dead little stump here. They're looking for termites, so they're just digging in here, and they're
using some stick, put in a hole when ants or termites crawling to eat, like something. Or sometimes they just using fur, and then when the fur crawling, and then yeah, but sometimes just like break it up. It's so hard. If you hear like that, there should be orangutan found some termites. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're getting real close. We're on the hot trail here. Apparently we gotta stay really quiet. And the best way to do it is to crouch like this. It's really hard on the knees, but that's the way to find orangutans. It's even better if you mimic them like this.
Hey.
I'm not such a smooth orangutan yet. I'm still in training.
Dude, you're not. I think Ben's forgotten that we've progressed from walking on all fours. 96.7% orangutan over there.
Okay, so Arif, we're going to a orangutan feeding station, right?
Right, yes, this is the second station. The name is Pondok Hangui.
And why do they feed the orangutans?
So in the beginning, there's a lot of problem when the people coming to Borneo and then they open the land for plantation, and actually this is creating conflict between human and the wildlife, especially orangutan. So many orangutan was killed, and then they keep a baby at home as a pet. So that's why the foundation, they rehabilitate the captive orangutans, and then after this graduate from the school, they bring back to the jungle, live really in the jungle.
Look at that cool butterfly.
This one we call it toilet paper butterfly.
Incredible.
Do you call this butterfly?
This one is the Idea stoli. That's the scientific name. It's endemic in Borneo because we can't find the English name. Then just we call it with the nickname toilet paper butterfly. Just like toilet paper, like flying.
So the rangers are calling the orangutans. We're like late arriving because we saw a bird and we had to stop. But it was a cool bird, worth the stop.
There's a pecking order. The biggest guy is already sitting in the feeding station, so these guys are gonna sit on the side till he's done. And then they'll go in.
So there's the alpha male. He's the king. Those cheeks on him. That's how you know they're the alpha male. The cheeks get like bigger and they have bigger, fatter. It's crazy. But he is like totally eating his fill up there on the platform. He's just like killing it. And everyone else has to go up there and snatch stuff off and then go eat it in the bush. Mamas have the little babies clinging on the side still. It's pretty cute. She'll snatch stuff and put it in her mouth and carry as much as she can away.
Everybody's like munching away. There's just all you hear is like. What's going on, Ash?
This has pretty much been me the entire trip. Ugh. And usually I have the iPhone in my hand too. And I got the DSLR usually with the puffy mic on this arm. Ben's in charge of the cam. And I'm like this with my iPhone and my binoculars and then my G12 taking pictures with the other. It's like outrageous how we travel. High five.